Welcome to 5 and 5 from the One-Stop Co-op Shop, where we discuss 5 key elements of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today we're looking at Dawn of the Zeds, 3rd edition. No disclaimer needed, I got this game in a trade. I already talked about Dawn of the Zeds a bit in my recent video with Jeremy Howard, but in short, I love the zombie theme. So does Dawn of the Zeds bring that theme to life in an exciting way? Let's find out and get to the list. I'm going to call my number 5 a mix, although it tends to lean pro for me, and you're going to see that a lot in this review. Things that could be problematic for some gamers, but aren't as much for me. And what we're focusing on first are the rulebooks and the modes of play available. Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition has a basic rulebook that you can play for the simplest form of play, and then a level up rulebook that walks you through successive levels of more complexity and challenge in the game. Then they have another rule book with how to set up each of those levels of play and with epilogues for when you win. They've got a 4th one that collects all the rules into one manual, a 5th one that goes through specific characters and gives clarifications. On the positive side, the different levels of play make this as accessible as you want it to be or as crunchy as you feel it should be. But on the negative side, this game often gets dinged for being tough to teach, and I think dividing things up among 5 books is part of it. Number 4 is another mix, one that's fairly standard for the Victory Point game releases I've played, and that's how the solo and co-op works. In Dawn of the Zeds, you always have 4 heroes and 1 heroic civilian, but any player in the co-op can control any unit on the board. There's no ownership or agency or a specific avatar you each have. And this is where the potential negative comes in, specifically for co-op play. Because you don't really own any pieces, and because about half of the actions in the game are communal actions that everyone can use, this game really opens it up to the potential for alpha player syndrome, or just for co-op players to kind of feel a bit too communal, not like they own anything or control anything in the game. I will say on the positive side, solo works wonderfully, no problems at all there. And also, I do like how Victory Point Games did the balancing across player counts here. Basically, you get more actions, but the zombies activate more often and also spawn more often. We have a full-on unmitigated pro at number 3, and that's the diversity in the heroes and the civilians you can control in the game. The game comes with a huge roster of characters, common tropes and archetypes from the zombie genre. You've got the sheriff, the survivalist, the dog. But then you get goofy things like the mysterious alien operative, the ninja, and other fun things like that. And these units have vastly different strengths and weaknesses. They can totally change one aspect of the game, and they can also combo together with each other in really fun ways. So randomly drawing your roster each game, maybe not getting your favorites, and figuring out how to make your victory happen anyway is a ton of fun and keeps the game fresh. But we're back to a mix for some people, and that's the heavy amount of dice rolling and randomness in the game. Almost everything your characters do and a lot of things the zombies do rely on a roll of 1 or 2d6. You can shoot zombies with your precious ammo and blow half of them up or completely whiff. You can roll badly in a combat you should totally win and have your best character die all of a sudden because then they fail their saving throw. Now, this doesn't bother me. It gets into a cinematic feel for the game that I'm going to discuss in a bit. But those who are dice rolling and randomness averse should definitely stay away from this one. We're going to end with one more mixed-leaning pro, and that's the event cards that drive the action of the game. At the beginning of each turn, you draw an event card, and depending on what complexity you're playing at, you'll resolve several different effects from left to right on the card. This includes moving refugees, spawning and activating zombies, whether you have to eat food, and the actions your characters can take. And the potential negative here for some players, not for me, is that it can feel like a lot of bookkeeping, because the only part of the round that you really have clear choice is in the actions at the end, but having to resolve all these other phases might feel like kind of homework for people. But for me, I love the variety in these cards. Every single one of them has some special, unique event that happens in one of the phases, like zombies doing something crazy, or a new hero showing up, or you getting some bonus on your turn, or some penalty on the actions you can do. And the way these cards create a cinematic ebb and flow, having the zombies completely mob you, but then another turn giving you a ton of actions to respond, makes each game feel unique and special, and also keeps things very exciting and tense, which we'll get to in our final thoughts. So yeah, for some gamers, Dawn of the Zeds will be a complete miss. You might not like all the rulebooks, and you might feel like it's tough to teach. You might feel like the co-op is tacked on and one player ends up running the whole group. And you might say, what the heck, this is all dice rolling and managing AI systems, when do I get to play? But for me and cinematic gamers like me, Dawn of the Zeds 3rd Edition has been a home run, one of my favorite games of the year. Yes, there's randomness, yes, there's stuff to manage, yes, there's complexity, but all of that makes it feel like I'm living a zombie epic, getting attached to these unique characters, seeing them desperately struggle against zombie hordes, fall, but maybe make enough of a difference that the town can survive without them. So it's certainly not going to work for everyone, but for me, a huge recommend for Dawn of the Zeds 3rd Edition. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.